Alright, so our big Aussie adventure is underway. So if you watched our last YouTube video, you probably know that we packed up literally everything we own. All our belongings are in storage at the moment, and the plan for us for the rest of the year is to drive around and explore Australia with a little help from you guys. So we're kickstarting our big Aussie adventure with a huge driving day today. I think we're going to be in the car for about 11 hours or so, which is why we wanted to leave so early. So we literally woke up at 4 a.m. We've now left. It's actually already 7 a.m., which I don't know where the time has gone, but we kind of met up with Harry and Tal, who are in a different car, and we're doing a little road trip convoy at the moment. And we've got 4 stops today until we get to our first destination, which I'm sure everyone can guess, Byron Bay.
Pretty foggy outside, so thankfully autopilot is dealing with it okay. I never know how well it's going to cope when there are adverse driving conditions, but it's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's always like a little bit unnerving, relinquishing control to a computer essentially, but I think in this kind of condition it's actually got way more visibility than we do.
So we are still in a pandemic, kind of. In Australia the numbers aren't so bad, but I am not taking any precautions, so we have some gloves. So this is the first supercharger, this is Heather Brain, and we'll stay here for about 25 minutes and get us back to full charge.
It is now 3:23 p.m. We are an hour away from Byron Bay, so we're nearly there, and look at this weather. So we are completely exhausted because it was such an early start, but we're so pumped that we've arrived before sunset because it's still nice and light, which means now we can go check in, go and relax, take a shower, and then have a really nice dinner together.
Last time we were here, that pool wasn't there. Look at that.
I know. Last time this was literally just like a green backyard, and now they've put this whole installation, the pools, the little beach umbrellas. Oh my gosh.
So we are in Byron Bay right now, and we have no plans beyond the end of this week. If you have an Airbnb, or your friend owns a cafe, or you know a really good experience that we should go on, do let us know. I'll link it down below, because you guys are going to control what we do throughout Australia until the end of the year.
We literally posted our vlog of us packing up the house like yesterday, and the amount of messages from you guys has been so insanely overwhelming. Like, we already have such a solid itinerary, and like so many beautiful local family owned eateries and restaurants and gelato bars and all sorts of fun things. So we're really like planning this as we go. Right now is our first stop. It's one of our favorite destinations in Australia. Yeah. Can you guess? Oh wait, you've already said it.
Oh, I said it already, sorry. We got married in Byron, that's why we love it.
And don't hold back, like send us all the fun experiences. We got an email yesterday saying, we want to throw you guys out of a plane. And we are so going to go do it, right? You're going to go skydiving? Kane's turned into a yes man.
No, I haven't. Piers told me I have to be a yes man because I'm a bit grumpy.
You're not You're not grumpy, you're just like overly cautious when it comes to like
sensible
safety things.
Yeah, I've never broken a bone, and I'd like to keep it that way.
I think you got to break a bone once in your life.
I want to show you guys the car that we are traveling in, because this is a bit of an unusual thing, just purely because the car we're driving in is electric. Super cool, 0 emissions, but the problem is because it's quite new technology, there's not many places to charge it. We've just driven 1,000 kilometers and there were only 4 places to charge, so we have to plan quite carefully really, just to make sure that we don't run out of electricity, because if we do, there's really not much we can do.
And we are also doing this whole journey with our little stowaway Muesli. She's coming along. So this is actually the house that we stayed at. My mum booked this place when we had our wedding here in Byron Bay like a 1.5 years ago. But the one thing that's new is the entire like pool edition.
Yeah, let's show you the pool. This is the main house, and we had like 6 or 7 people staying here, which was all family, and then a couple of extra friends in the guest house down there for the whole week before we got married. So it was like a real cool vibe. But this area was empty before, and now look at this pool. It's the middle of winter, but it's actually warm enough to jump in the pool. I actually can't believe it. For the sake of the vlog, we probably shouldn't say that, because otherwise the peekaroo might want me in the water, and that ain't happening. That is the #1 mission of the big Aussie adventure, is to get Kane swimming. No. So this is the car we're taking. It's a Tesla 100D. It's not the P100D, it's the 100D long range, which I got because you get a few extra kilometers out of the battery rather than having a slightly faster car. And if we find a supercharger, it should charge within about an hour. If we're charging at home, unfortunately, it's about 24 hours.
So that's obviously like a little bit restrictive because there's crazy amount of petrol stations everywhere, but only like superchargers every few hours along the way.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to plan our itinerary and our route based on where we can go with the car. If there's no superchargers wherever we're going, we will have to stay several nights and actually use the property where we're staying as like somewhere to charge.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the plan B, is we just like stay overnight, and you can obviously plug it into pretty much any wall socket. And so that will get us moving forward.
These little red things you can see here are the only superchargers in the whole of Australia. So we're going to have to rely on houses and Airbnbs past here, because there's not a charger past Brisbane, and we want to go all the way to here.
So basically the plan to begin with is to kind of travel up the east coast of Queensland, head all the way to like Cairns, go to the Whitsundays, but there's so many beautiful stops along the way that we want to explore. So this is probably going to take us, I think, about 3 weeks to a month to even get there.
I reckon it's going to take a bit more.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think this might be quite a slow journey, but that's great because you guys know we're in Byron right now. We're moving north, so if you've got anywhere north of Byron that you'd love us to go visit, go to the website and let us know.
And so we're going to have to wait until these state restrictions, like the border restrictions, open up until we can actually go outside of Queensland. So it's going to be Queensland primarily for the next few weeks. And then after that, we'll do Northern Territory, Western Australia, South Australia. We're still trying to figure out the best mode of transport, and we're even considering like a little bit of a trailer or caravan or that type of situation, which I'm super
We're
pumped
definitely
about.
going to do it in this car though.
I know, of course,
Yeah.
but like we looked at this cool thing that you can like tow behind the Tesla, and it's basically like a little what do you call it?
It's a teardrop trailer.
Yeah, like a teardrop trailer, and you can put like a little bed and like a little toaster and
We were
stuff in
this
there.
close away from buying it and having it now.
I know.
The issue is with a battery powered car, every kilo you put on it, it kind of degrades the battery significantly. So having a full-size caravan on the back of this, we'd get half the range, which would then mean we wouldn't be able to go between chargers easily enough. So
Yeah.
there is an inherent problem with having an electric car. Even though it's cool, it's fast, it's zero emissions, the infrastructure's not quite here yet in Australia. So that in itself is going to be quite an adventure, I think.
It's going to be a challenge, but
A challenge, that's the
if
word.
anyone's up for it, we're up for it.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Amazing Race
Yeah, just really slow.
with two idiots.
So we actually wanted to embark on this road trip right after the bushfires hit Australia, because that had such a hugely negative impact on the tourism industry here. And in Australia, in some parts, 1 in 3 people are actually directly or indirectly employed by the tourism industry. But then as COVID hit, it was just not realistic for us to, jump in the car and start driving around the country. So we've had to delay it for a little while. And all that's really happened is it's even more important for us to be traveling around and supporting domestic tourism, because there's no international visitors now. And I think if we don't do this, and us Aussies here don't get behind, local holidays and things like that, then it's going to have a massive knock-on effect to the Australian economy.
It's really important for like Aussies to get behind domestic tourism more than ever now.
Yeah, and I can see that we're all keen for it. So our little mission with this little mini-series is to showcase all our favourite places and go check out new places that we've not visited. And maybe that gives you guys some ideas of, where you're going to take the family for, school holidays and things like that.
Right, we've just come to the farm over here. There's actually an NRA charger here, which is pretty cool. It has two options, CHAdeMO and CSS. And unfortunately, we have that one. So that's a bit of a problem. I think we have to buy an adapter if I want to carry on charging with these things. I find it very annoying that straight out of the gate, all of these car companies have chosen to have different sockets. So it's not like with a petrol car, you can just put the thing in. They've already got 3 different standards of sockets. So that might be a problem with the drive, but we shall see.
you?
I'm trying to get... Your hat's too big.
The collision of the hats.
We need a rule that if I'm wearing a hat, you can't also wear a hat.
My hat is your hat for breakfast.
We need a wider lens.
We're here with friends, obviously, so we didn't want to vlog too much, but we kind of like, you know, showed them all our favourite spots in Byron Bay. So we went to Newry Bar, went to Harvest, we went to the farm and like made friends with all those cute little fluffy cows. And we've kind of had a little bit of a break hanging out with friends, but tomorrow we are packing up the car and we are heading on to the next leg of our journey. We're driving to the Gold Coast, so we're going to spend a few days there, catch up with family, quickly say hi, and then after that we are all on our own.
We still have no plans either, so we're still trying to work it out. I think in the next video we'll kind of plot a map and we'll film it and we'll draw the route that we're going to take for like the foreseeable month or so. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. It's already weird knowing that that is our house.
Our car is our house.
Yeah, it feels odd. Like I had this weird anxiety yesterday when I was like, oh, I really could do with my bed, and then I realised I don't have a bed. It's in storage, so yeah, I'm still getting used to it.
Don't worry, we have that little 5cm mat that you can sleep on. That's fine. I might need to reduce the size of my hats if we're just going to keep travelling by car everywhere.
It's also very important that you guys subscribe because we are mid-negotiation with a couple of brands to give you guys some free trips. So if you're in Australia, we're going to be able to give you guys little weekend breaks and getaways just by watching our vlogs. So it should be pretty cool.
Anyway, stay tuned, follow the journey, and we'll chat to you guys tomorrow.
Bye.